All right, so level 80, tier 70 Nightmare Dungeon. This is a Hoarfrost Demise, so pretty packed. We have a boss as well. And I just want to showcase this Whirlwind build that I have here, which is the dual-wield one. Lots of max fury, just lots of damage in general. And it's pretty tanky. We're relying on the Temerity unique and having lots of HP and lots of healing to keep that barrier up and to keep us alive. But we'll go over the build, do a full breakdown just after the run here. Let's just hope we don't die. I would like to get the full run through in one go. If I'm lucky, it will happen. So the enemies are like, what? 44 levels above me. This is very... It's within shooting distance of like doing a tier 100 on a level 100. I felt that this would be a really cool way to demonstrate just how strong this build is, even when you don't have like your full Paragon board. It's obviously even better when you're level 100. But this is just a lot of fun to do. You can actually see they're barely even doing any damage to me at all. I am lagging a little bit, which is not helping me, but I'm going to soldier through. Actually, we're blasting. This is way easier than I thought. Maybe I should have done something a little harder. Oh, man. Yeah, I haven't seen the barrier go down yet. I'm not even having to use health potions. It's purely the passives that are keeping me up here. And we'll go over those in just a sec. That did really hurt. Corpse bows. Absolute menaces. Almost popped my potion. Okay, I'm gonna pay more attention here. Hang on. That was brutal. Try not to catch any more harpoons. I'll use Wrath of the Berserker for this one. Always trying to keep berserking up. So like it's a couple of playstyle tips for this one. All of our damage is going to come when we're in berserking. So you really want to try and make sure that you're making the best use out of your War Cry and your Wrath of the Berserker to increase uptime. And trying to keep spinning at all times, because not only are you going to be healing while you're spinning, which is very important for the Temerity, but you're also going to be proccing Relentless Berserker aspect, which is going to give us even longer windows of berserking. And of course, this is, you know, because berserking and Barber Heart interact with each other in a bit of a funky way that allows us to do ridiculous amounts of damage. Now, I'm not going to use a shrine. It's going to be a vanilla run. All me, baby. All me. 100% Barbarian. No cheesiness here. If you're wondering what potions I have on, I have some armor potions on my cheat death potion. Nothing crazy. Just stuff you'd be probably running with anyways. And now we're going to go do the boss. Just got to wait for my cooldowns to come off. We spend the 1 extra Paragon point. I'm going to cheat, guys. I'm going to have 2% extra HP for this. Alright, and when you're fighting bosses, again, same kind of thing applies here. You want to make sure you've got your berserking up as long as possible. What I like to do is wait until it's kind of about to run out. Then I'll pop Wrath of the Berserker as well to extend that window for as long as possible. And we should get some pretty healthy Barber procs from that, giving us fairly reasonable DPS for a Whirlwind build anyways. Now, you can do a lot better than this if you want to run a kick variation off this build. But, I mean, really, that's only ever needed when doing Uber Lilith with Whirlwind. But that's it. Let's just quickly get ourselves to Kyovashad, and we'll take a look at the build and what makes this work. All right, and now we're back in town. Let's have a quick look at the gear here and some of the stuff that you want to be prioritizing. And first and foremost, Max Fury in place of a main stat on the helmet is very important. Numbing Wrath as well is something you're going to definitely want to make sure that you have. Disobedience, of course, 4 damage reduction stats on the chest. Gloves, pretty generic gloves, nothing too exciting there. Obviously, the Temerity, this is going to be a big part of the build. It gives us really crazy survivability, as well as allowing us to use Conceited, which I have on one of the one-handers here. That gives me just a flat 25% damage increase pretty much at all times. Boots, nothing exciting here. Double movement speed, fury cost reduction, and all stat. I would be tempted when pushing to higher content to swap the movement speed for actually instead damage reduction while injured. I think that's a lot better. Weapons, nothing too exciting here. Basically the standard setup in any other build. Crit, vulnerable, all stat strength, or instead of strength, close or core damage if you get those instead. They're still fine. Dire Whirlwind, Conceited. Now, I use a mace and a magnum opus, and I'll just go over this in just a second. I just want to let you know that Berserk Ripping is the aspect on this weapon here. But the reasoning behind this here is, first of all, the magnum opus gives us some insane scaling when we're using dual wield, but also stacking fury. So you have 84 fury here, 184 fury. But we also get access to the mace and all of the goodies that come along with that in the skill tree, which are, we're going to get Concussion and Wallop, which gives us a very consistent way to stun enemies and also a very high scaling multiplicative damage source here for using a mace, which this will work towards. And we also get increased damage to stunned enemies with the mace one-handed expertise, and more chance to actually get berserking if we hit stunned enemies as well. So all kind of feeds into itself and plays really, really well together. The the one-handed sword expertise, this gives us actually extra fury on hit, so it helps us sustain in those longer fights. As for the rest of the talents, this is enhanced lunging strike. I use violent whirlwind. We've got imposing presence actually for maximum HP. I've got enhanced challenging shout here for extra max HP as well. We're trying to just like stack as much as possible for temerity. The tactical rallying cry for fury. Enhanced war cry. This is one of our sources of berserking. We have raid leader. This is for healing. Again, this feeds into temerity. Of course, booming voice for shout duration. Prolific fury for fury generation. Swiftness, movement speed, always. Pit fighter, a bit of damage reduction here in damage. I've got both defensive stance and counter-offensive here. They're very valuable for us. And because we're playing from behind a barrier, it means we almost always have fortified up, like 100% of the time. So we get giga value from these. And as for your amulet passive, you're going to want to get counter-offensive. This is going to be probably the best one for you. You can get Wallop instead, but counter-offensive works really, really well with this build. Wrath of the Berserker, maximum fury here. And this is where we're getting more healing from. So you can see all of this healing, for that overhealing this creates goes into the barrier and just keeps us like basically immune to damage forever. And then we have Unbridled Rage here, of course. The reason we have Unbridled Rage is, well, mainly for this. We need to spend 100 Fury to get a heal. Now, you can run this build with like pretty much any of these key passives, and it'll probably do roughly the same damage. But because we really want to be spending as much Fury as possible, we will be using, Unbridled Rage for Invigorating Fury. And it also opens up the door for swapping Disobedience around for Warbinger on the Paragon board, if you would prefer to do that. As for the Paragon board, I actually don't have the full one here, so you'll have to refer to the build guide that will be in the video description to see the full one. But it's more or less the same one you've seen in my previous builds, minus a couple of changes. You can actually see them here. We have the Max Fury and the HP nodes up here. And later on the Flawless Technique build board, we have some like one-handed crit one-handed crit damage on that board, which is not in the other builds. But that will be down in the builds planner below. But that's the full build. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And if you think I deserve it, consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. Come check out the live stream at some point. Description down in the description below. But just a quick sort of PSA. I will be in China for like the next week. So I probably won't be around, but I will be right after. Right, peace.